So in this video, we're going to be using an example of a patient of mine who's had been dealing with shoulder pain for over 15 years. And he was really at a point where he was pretty frustrated and felt stuck and didn't know whether or not he should go in for an exploratory surgery to figure out if there's anything structurally that was contributing to his pain, even though past imaging, including x-rays and MRIs, had been inconclusive into determining what the potential source of his pain could be. He had done some physical therapy before in the past that had been somewhat helpful, but hadn't fully resolved his issue, and would get out of initial pain, but would gradually start to experience that pain again, especially if he stopped doing the exercises that he had been doing previously. And so for my client Joe, he was really at a crossroads at this point in his life. He knew he wanted to continue to stay active and participate in some of the body weight exercises as well as weight training that he had done in years past, but had been struggling with more recently because he would flare up his shoulder each time he would do those things. He's also struggling to get good quality sleep because every time he would roll over onto that shoulder or would bring his arm out into more of an extended position, he would experience nerve pain associated with that position or with that kind of compression on that side. But he also knew that he didn't want to go in and have surgery if he didn't need to have it, especially without having the reassurance that there was a good idea that the surgeon knew what was going on and what structurally could be contributing to his pain. So he was at kind of a crossroads and fortunately reached out to me and Limitless Concierge Physical Therapy and gave conservative treatment another try. We went through a thorough physical examination with him, saw that he had some limitations in his range of motion and that he also had some imbalances in the strength of the muscles around the shoulder and some compensation that had built up over the course of years at that point in time. We made some adjustments to the amount of range of motion that he had through corrective exercises, through things like stretching, manual therapies with dry needling, and joint mobilization. And then we gave him a few corrective exercises to start working on day one. Fortunately, we were able to reduce his pain fairly quickly within the course of a few weeks. And he was bought into the full process of correcting the underlying muscle imbalances and movement dysfunctions that had occurred over that course of time. And over the next several weeks, we worked on correcting those underlying issues to where once we started to get back into body weight exercises, weightlifting, as well as a lot of the physical activity that he has to do at work on a regular basis, because he worked not one, but two physically active jobs to where he was having to use his shoulder repetitively throughout the course of the day, as well as with heavier weights and lifting things up and overhead, as both a forklift operator, as well as doing physical labor at a Costco in the area. We were able to correct those underlying issues, modify some of his activities while he was at work too as well, and then eventually build back up his capacity to where he could get back into those activities pain-free at this point in time. He was ecstatic as we were as well, and that we were able to avoid having to go in for that exploratory surgery, keep him at work during that time frame so that he was continuing to able to bring in income to pay for the things that he needed to on a regular basis, and ultimately get him back into sleeping for longer periods of time and getting higher quality sleep. And then giving him a positive outlook on the future and the ability and the knowledge to be able to take care of his body moving forward so that he could stay healthy, working and doing recreational activities that he loves for years to come. So if you feel like you're kind of at a crossroads at this point in time to where maybe you've been told you need surgery, but you also haven't fully exhausted some of your conservative rehab and been consistent in your rehab approach for months in order to fully exhaust that measure first from there. We'd love to be able to chat with you and give you a little bit of guidance on whether or not you would be a good candidate to continue pursuing conservative treatment, or if you do really need to jump into that surgical route from there. We love to be able to give people clarity and get them unstuck so that they can move forward in the direction that they need to faster. If you are feeling like you're stuck and maybe at this crossroads and need a little bit more guidance, we'd love to be able to hop onto a quick video or phone conference call for 10 or 15 minutes, which is completely complimentary and no obligation to you. I'm going to include the link down below this video to our calendar, and go ahead and find a time that works on your end to be able to connect. Or if you'd like a little bit more information about how we help people out, go ahead and click on the other link to some of our reviews down below and our website down below to get a little bit more information about us and get yourself unstuck and moving in the right direction today.